A to Z Sports Prime Time, the trade deadline special. Talking about draft picks on a trade deadline evening. The NFL trade deadline has come and gone. And the Titans made 3 of them. Today, no, none today. 3 total on the year. We'll talk about what they did and did not do. We'll talk about the fun day of news around the league. Some other AFC South teams getting on the action. A new receiver, a new cornerback in the division, most notably. A new cornerback in the division, by the way. In the blockbuster trade of the day that I think the Titans, I feel in my gut, in my heart, the Titans will be the winners of one day in the future, perhaps the near future. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about rumors out of New England, accusations levied against Amy Adams-Strunk. What else will we talk about? We'll talk about what the Titans' actual draft haul is for 2026 as of today, now locked and loaded until at least the end of the season, when they could do more trading between the end of the season and the draft, but no more players being moved around. We'll talk about maybe some draft grades for each of the 3 trades the Titans did make and why I feel the way I feel about each of them. We'll talk about another team at the bottom of the league in the AFC, the New York Jets, who made all the news today by acquiring 3 new first-round picks than they had when the day started. And they are now entering a team-building cycle that they just did in 2021 and 2022. Or was it 2020 and 2021? It was within the 2020s that they just did this thing. The Dolphins also just did this thing. There's a track record of teams doing this, and it is exciting, and it is a place that the Titans could be soon. But is it always what's best for you? And should the Titans have followed suit? Should they have been a full-blown fire sale team? So much to dive into here on a Tuesday evening. I appreciate you all being here with me and jumping into the comments. As John says, what's up, people? Easton, my guy. John, my guy, hello. Hope you're having a great end of your day. Always a pleasure to jump on here with you guys. Want to lean on the chat tonight. Want to talk to you all, hear your thoughts on what the Titans did and did not do. We've got a question coming at you here in a couple of minutes. We got Ross in the background. He'll keep an eye on the chat. Anything that needs to be brought to my attention, any comments you might have, any declarations, any questions you might have. Now is the time. The next 30 some odd minutes. Fire them off in the chat, and we will address them all before we're done this evening. Hey, be a friend. Hit that like button. That's all I ask of you this evening. Hit the thumbs up button for me on Facebook or on YouTube. It is free. It is easy. All it takes is one click of your finger. Right now, I will wait. I can hear you clicking it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Then jump in the comments on Facebook and on YouTube and join the conversation. Also, be a friend. Tell a friend. Send the program to a friend. Send the link. Say, hey, we're talking Titans trade deadline. Get in here. We're hanging out for the next half hour on the A to Z primetime show. And Buck Rising isn't there. What else could you ask for on a Tuesday evening? Ross, a lot to talk about this evening, but first let's talk about our wonderful and amazing sponsors. Get the bills paid here and satisfy the sales weasels by talking about our friends at Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Mount Juliet, Tennessee is where you can find Two Rivers Ford. They are serving all of Nashville and the Middle Tennessee area. If you're searching for a trusted Ford dealership in this part of town, Two Rivers has you covered. Our friends over there are the leading Ford dealership in the area. They pride themselves on offering an exceptional selection of new and used Ford vehicles with a particular focus on the ever-popular F-150 and F-250 Super Duty trucks. Their commitment to customer satisfaction and quality service sets them apart from other car dealerships in the area. They are the South's most trusted Ford dealer. They are Two Rivers Ford. We appreciate them for being a longtime sponsor of the show. We also appreciate Dre'Mont Fitness, a Nashville institution in fitness. Dre'Mont offers more than just your average workout. They are signature programming. It's a challenging boot camp style class that offers high intensity training. The classes are led by instructors who are consistently pushing your limits and inspiring you to be your best self, not only inside but also outside of the gym. Your first workout is free. No workouts are recycled or repeated. Check them out today. Tell them A to Z sent you. Dre'Mont Fitness. Our newest, just kidding, I forgot we've got a 4th sponsor. Our second newest, new this year, sponsor on the Primetime Show is Simon Says Men's Clother. It's destination shopping. You can't shop Simon Says online. You have to come in to the brick and mortar store and experience it for yourself. Exclusivity is the name of their game. Limited pieces, carefully chosen. And when they're gone, they're gone. It's a curated selection. Every item is handpicked for quality, design, and a touch of Nashville character. Personal attention from their knowledgeable staff who is ready and on hand to help you discover the perfect piece. It's an experiential shopping trip, more than just shopping. It's a store that feels like it was made for you. And how many stores can you really say that about? Make the trip. Visit Simon Says Men's Clothier in Nashville today. And now our actual newest sponsor, and not quite new, but returning to the A to Z programming airways, is TDOT, the Tennessee Department of Transportation. They want you all, their campaign right now is to make sure everyone knows that you can be a part of the solution to end littering. Did you know that over 88 million pieces of litter are on Tennessee roadways right now as we speak? It's a big old problem, but we can be a part of the solution, each and every one of us. TDOT spends over $23 million each year cleaning up litter, but they can't do it alone. You can help by making simple changes. Stop littering. First of all, if you're doing that, cut that out. And then pick up litter when you see it, even if it's not yours. Join local cleanups. Every action counts. There are ways to get involved. Check them out at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com and be a part of the solution today. Keep our beautiful state beautiful. Get involved and see how you can make a difference, again, at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. All right, Ross, we're off and running here. And let's start with our question of the day. Oh, Bork, here we go. Bork says, the Jets doing the thing Titans fans wanted their team to do will be an interesting comparison over the next 3 years. You're right. It'll be an interesting conversation this week, and we'll, I'm sure, come back to this moment in time as both teams hope to claw their way out of being cellar dwellers in the AFC. But let's talk about that. And Ross, let's go ahead and send our question in the chat because I don't want to dance around this. It's what everyone's talking about. Do you wish the Titans had gone full fire sale like the Jets did at the deadline? And if you missed it, if you were busy all day, let me fill you in. The Jets sent their star cornerback Sauce Gardner, who they just paid I believe a 5-year, 9-figure contract to. He is now an Indianapolis Colt. So good news is you played the Colts twice already this year. Bad news is he's going to be around for quite a while. So you're going to see him upcoming next season and beyond. That was a trade that involved 2 first-round picks, the next 2 first-rounders on the Colts schedule, sent to the Jets, as well as a flyer in A.D. Mitchell, receiver who was a 2nd-round pick 2 years ago, I think. I think that's right. It was a day 2 pick. I forget if it was 2nd or 3rd round. 2nd round, that's right. Texas legend, of course. College football playoff legend, famous for doing big things in big games and then coming to the NFL.
Sorry, I'm eating. Cane Ridge High School legend. Played him at
I did not know that. How about that? Cane Ridge.
We locked him up, though. We locked him up.
Hey, further from home now because he is now a New York Jet, but he is going to get a lot more opportunity there, I think. You know, in Indianapolis, there were some pretty good receivers on that roster that were keeping him off the field. Also, his own inability to hold on to the football was probably doing that some. But I don't think Malachi Corley in New York is keeping him off the field. You know, I don't think the Tyler Johnsons of the world are going to keep that guy. Never know. But I think he's going to get some more opportunity up there alongside Justin Fields or whoever they're rolling out at quarterback these days. They also, the Jets, made another trade shortly thereafter, which felt smaller in comparison. It was still a trade that involved a first-round pick and an acquisition of a former first-round pick. With the Cowboys, they sent Quinnen Williams, star defensive tackle, to Dallas and got not only a future first from Dallas, a 2027 pick, by the way, not 26, which feels worse until you realize what the expected pool of talent and the premium positions in 26 versus 27 are. And you realize that 27 is shaping up to be a much better premium position, top of the class. Still early, but that's what the scouts are saying right now, what the college scene seems to be shaping up as. So that's a nice piece of business by the Jets, and they are guaranteed the better of the 2 Cowboys first-round picks in that. It could be the Cowboys' original pick or the Packers' original pick, which they have from the Micah Parsons trade. So they got the better of the 2 picks in the better of the 2 upcoming drafts, a future first, and defensive tackle Mozzie Smith, another reclamation project going from Dallas to New York. New York, by the way, side note, not a conversation that we're going to have here, but worth noting, the Jets have officially branded themselves like Next Chance U. Not Last Chance U, but like Next Chance U, because they have now acquired in recent weeks Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Mozzie Smith, and A.D. Mitchell. All 3 different stories were not working out with their original teams. All 3 were either high pedigree draft picks and or guys that have proven themselves to be valuable NFL players in the case of Jarvis Brownlee. And all three are going to kind of an island of misfit toys in New York where they're going to get a chance to be on the field a whole lot and turn their careers around, which I think is a cool little wrinkle and a bold move by an organization that, the Jets, I don't know quite what their culture is. Typically guys that you have questions about, a good, strong culture is the right place for them to go and really find their footing in the NFL. Don't know if this is quite that, but we'll see. Maybe they have some special sauce, Aaron Glenn does, that other teams don't. So they did all of that, and the Jets are now set up with 2 first-round picks this upcoming year, 2 second-round picks this upcoming year, and 3 first-round picks the following year. And by the way, where's the other second-round pick coming from? I buried the lead on that. The Quinn Williams trade was a first-rounder in 2027 and a second-rounder in 2026, and Mozzie Smith. Forgot about that extra little pick in there. So 2 firsts, 2 seconds this year, 3 firsts the following year. I mean, that's a guaranteed contender in the future, right? I mean, how many times has a team had that kind of draft capital and not turned into a real competitor in a hurry? Well, the New York Jets did this and weren't able to do that in 2020. Let me pull this up, actually. This was 2021 and 2022. The Jets had 2 firsts and 2 seconds in 2021 and 3 firsts and 2 seconds in 2020. Excuse me. So I'm wrong again. 2020 and 2021. They had the exact same setup, basically. And the players that they chose were... Wait a minute. Is this right? Oh, no. I'm looking at my other example. Excuse me. I was looking at the Dolphins. So I'm all over the place. Let me scratch everything you just heard. We're starting fresh. In 2021 and 2022, the New York Jets had 2 firsts and 3 firsts in consecutive years. The players they selected with those picks: Zach Wilson, Elijah Vera Tucker, guard, Sauce Gardner, who they just traded away, Garrett Wilson, who they paid, but they kept so far, and pass rusher Jermaine Johnson. And we saw what happened in the subsequent years. The Dolphins are the team that I was mistakenly looking at a moment ago, who in 2020 and 2021 had 3 firsts and 2 seconds, and then 2 firsts and 2 seconds. And they used those picks on Tua Tagovailoa, Austin Jackson, Noah Igbenogany, yeah, that's close. Robert Hunt, Raekwon Davis, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, and Liam Eichenberg. So, it is not a guarantee that you're going to turn your franchise around with those picks. That being said, I'm not going to discount the idea that more picks actually bad tonight on A to Z Sports Primetime. No. What I am going to say is that alone is, I think, a cautionary tale. If you are a team, 1, that can't make good picks, obviously, but 2, isn't ready to support so much youth as, I believe it was no, it was Parcells. It was Parcells that once famously said, you lose a game for every rookie you start. And when you bring in that much youth all at once, you are asking for a real learning curve. And Ross, in real time, doing some fantastic producing, sending me the Chicago Bears, who the Bears, they acquired DJ Moore in the trade, or in the draft, Darnell Wright in their draft, Tyreek Stevenson in their draft, Caleb Williams in their draft, and Luther Burden in their draft, with 2 consecutive years of very high picks and multiple first rounders. And that's maybe a little bit of a different story because that's more recent. That's 23 and 24. And that's a team that is looking a little bit better now. So fair to say that there are 2 sides of the coin, and you can use that as a leaping off point. The Titans, by the way, I think the answer to my own question, so I'm all over the place now, may find themselves in this spot, just not now. It's going to come when they trade back from the 1st or the 2nd or the 3rd overall pick. So if they are expecting, and I think wisely they are, expecting to potentially, I mean, the ESPN FPI right now is giving the Titans the best chance of having the number 1 overall pick. Also, the Easton's eye test is giving the Titans the best chance of having the 1st overall pick, because I've watched them play football each week. Is it possible that they win some more games? That Cam Ward and the young guys start to... No, obviously not. I kind of think that they will get better. How much better? I don't know. Enough to get win games, win more than 1 or 2 more games? I don't know. Enough to beat the Saints in the Tank Bowl of all Tank Bowls in Week 17? We'll see. Can't wait for that one. That one might be a little slimy game. Team who's trying to out-tank each other. But what good would it do the Titans to sell like the Jets did just now, then get the 1st or the 2nd overall pick, and then sell to the teams like the Jets and the Rams have multiple firsts. The Browns have multiple firsts. Those are the teams that are off the top of my head have multiple firsts this upcoming draft that are all potentially going to be in the hunt for quarterbacks. And they're all going to be vying for that pick. Well, if you sell for a big old load of picks down from 1 to 4 or to 8 or to 19, if it's the Rams or something like that, at some point you reach a critical mass of picks. The other thing that I want to raise a point here of saying is, if you wanted the Titans to do what the Jets did today, with what players? Because like the Jets had, we were talking all day, not just the guys they did trade, but it was also like Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, these premium, highly paid, mostly young players that are going to these are good players that teams want to acquire. Okay, well, the Titans have Jeff. Who else were they? So they could have traded Jeff for probably the package that the Jets got for Quinn Williams, right? Maybe even better. Maybe it was a first, a second, and another second, or an even better player in return, right? Because I think that Jeff probably would garner more today. Who's the other player who's the guy they're trading for 2 firsts? that doesn't exist on the roster. So I just don't understand this idea that, and maybe it's just hope, or maybe it's Madden, I don't know, that the teams around the league want your players. Clearly they didn't. Or they were offering 2027 7th round picks at best, and Bork saying the best the Titans could have done is the Williams trade, but they couldn't come close to matching sauce. Yeah, absolutely. So those are the two key main things on that for me, why they didn't do it. One, they're probably about to do it in the draft. And so if you had a bunch of firsts now and then even further split your firsts, at some point you've got to, you're going to sign, you got to pay for these guys, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the pay rates for like they paid Cam Ward $33 million in cash this year. That's going against their books. If you have the 1st and the 4th and the 7th and the 19th and the 32nd and the 47th pick in a draft, your rookies, one, better be awesome immediately somehow, but 2, they're going to take half your money. So there's a lot that goes into this. It's not quite fantasy football. It's not quite Madden, where none of these details matter and the logistics of real life don't matter. They do. So that's where I land on that. What else do we want to talk about? Let's talk about the Titans' actual draft picks. Since we're here, might as well mention them. If you are wondering, okay, what do they have now? Well, they now have 9 picks. They came into the year. And Billy, here, perfect. As of now, what picks do we have next year by the rounds? I'm happy you asked, Billy. They have 9 picks. They came into the year with 8 picks. So they've added a pick. They have their own 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round picks locked up. They are projected to get their own 5th round pick in return from the Rams in the trade for Roger McCreary, because the Rams have that pick from the Ernest Jones trade. And the conditions of the Titans' Roger McCreary trade with the Rams is that they're going to get the best pick available in the 5th round back from the Rams, which is either going to be the Rams pick or the Titans pick. So obviously it's the Titans pick. So they're going to have their own pick in the first 5 rounds. They're then going to have a second 5th round pick. This first round they double up as the 5th round. Well, maybe, because this is the conditional pick from the Ravens in return for the Dre'Mont Jones trade, which we got the details on. What's the conditions of this conditional 5th round pick that could become a 4th? They're shockingly simple. More on that in a second. I'll explain what what the Ravens have to do to make the Titans' 5th round pick go into being a 4th round pick. But as of now, it's a 5th round pick from the Ravens. It is the Jets' original pick. So that's even better news, right? Because the Jets, we saw how they sold today. They stand to be a top 10, top 5 pick. So very early in the 5th round. They then have their own 6th round pick, and they have another 6th round pick that comes by way of the Jets, originally Baltimore's pick. So we're mix and matching here. It's Baltimore's pick, but they got it in the trade with the Jets, the 6th and 7th round trade for Jarvis Brownlee Jr. earlier in the year. And then they have their own 7th round pick. So their own 1st through 5th, a second 5th that might turn into a 4th, 2 6ths, and 1 7th. 9 picks. Now, the conditions on the Dre'Mont Jones trade, which I graded an A in my recent article at azsports.com. Go check it out. The best was saved for last by Mike Borgonzi. This was a trade that I wasn't expecting them to get a full pick for. I fully expected all of their trades to be swaps. I'm glad that they got a full pick for him. Usually these conditional trades, like you saw with DeAndre Hopkins last year, for example, usually it's well, you can have this pick that will turn into one round better of a pick if a million things that are unlikely to happen. Like it's a best case scenario escalator. That was the opposite of the case here. This is really just a basic insurance policy for the Ravens, hoping that Dre'Mont Jones does a bare minimum for them. All that has to happen for the Titans to make this fifth turn into a fourth is Dre'Mont Jones has to have 2 more sacks this year. He's got 8 games to have 2 sacks. He needs 1 sack a month the rest of the year. And he just had 4.5 in the last month. So if he doesn't fall off a cliff, he's going to get that. And then the Ravens have to make the playoffs, which may seem unlikely considering if you've been paying attention this year. Like, didn't they start 1-5? They did start 1-5. But they have won 2 games since. They're now 3-5. And you might be surprised to learn that Vegas right now has I believe last I checked, the Ravens are like minus 170 to make the playoffs. They are also the leader in their division for winning the AFC North. They are who Vegas expects to win their division because the Bengals are flailing as well. The Browns are even worse. And the Ravens and Steelers still have both of their games on the schedule, so the Ravens control their own destiny on that front. And the Steelers, even though they just beat the Colts, which was a fantastic win, it's not like they have an incredible, unbeatable record. I think they're 5-4. I think they have 5 wins, maybe 6 wins. 5-3. 5-3. So, the Ravens 3-5. No? Yes?
No, yeah. I was just gonna say the Steelers' schedule also gets significantly harder.
Which doesn't it always? Is it every year where like the Steelers? Wow, they got 7 wins in the first 2 months, and then you look at the schedule, you're like, holy crap.
They play Buffalo, they play in Detroit, Ravens twice. Like it's a very winnable division still for Baltimore.
Good for them. So the Ravens appear to be making the playoffs, and Dre'Mont Jones just has to get 2 more sacks, and this becomes a 4th-round pick. That's great news. Here's the qualifier, and not to be a killjoy, but I like looking at how this would work. Like I mentioned earlier, they currently have the 5th-round pick that originally belongs to the Jets, which means it's going to be a very top of the 5th round pick. If that 5th turns into a 4th because the conditions are met, it then becomes the Ravens' 5th-round pick or 4th-round pick, which the Ravens, if the conditions are met, will have made the playoffs, so they will have a pick at the back end of the 4th round. I went and looked at last year's draft order to kind of do the math on this. Best case scenario in terms of the number of spots that this pick could bump up for the Titans is, by my math, exactly, or maybe I'll say roughly, 27 picks. And that is if the Jets, I'm going to say worst case in this situation, the Jets get the 10th overall pick. I'll be floored if the Jets aren't in the top 10 picks. So if they're the 10th overall team in the draft order, and the Ravens are the first and the worst team bumped from the playoffs, they lose on the first weekend, then it will be roughly a 27-pick jump, which is almost a full round without compensatory picks. So it's not nothing. It's like going from pick like 147 to pick 123 or something. But that's not quite the math. But it's 140s to 120s. But that's an important caveat. And I think, honestly, that the fact that it's such a small jump is why the conditions are really manageable. So there's that. What else do we want to talk about? Any more questions we want to get to, Ross? Or we can talk about the Amy Adams Strunk thing. We can talk about John Vargas. Were there any offers on players that we didn't hear about? Yes, a lot. I can't tell you what they are because I don't know them yet. But I know that there were because I've talked to people in the building, and I at least know that like they fielded quite a few offers. Some real stinkers in there because it turns out the Titans players weren't the most attractive in the world. And there were a couple of players. I mean, like, there's a 1 trillion% chance the Cowboys made an offer to the Titans for Jeff Simmons, like they did with the Jets with Quinn Williams. They probably made the same offer, maybe even a slightly better offer. And the Titans said no. They were not BSing about the Jeffrey Simmons, we don't want to trade him thing. That part was real. And that's why they turned it down. It's an interesting question. MB says, oh, shocker, ADZ was wrong about all those Titans trades. Well, what trades was I wrong about? Do you know, Ross, what trades we were wrong about? I've been saying for 2 weeks on A2ZSports.com the Titans wouldn't be a fire sale team. So I was right about that.
I just saw a bunch of people making educated guesses and giving opinions like everyone else does about the trade deadline. So I don't know what anybody was wrong about.
I would appreciate MB coming back and clarifying what he felt we were wrong about because I'm just curious.
Also, Esco in the comments saying that ain't Bert. Esco, get with the program, brother. All right, we've been doing this for months now. Get with the program, brother.
I love the idea that there's at least one person out there that shows up to this show exclusively for the sparse Burt cameos.
I know I can't give it to you like
That's their
Burt,
thing.
man. I got to
Which
step my game up.
I can respect that, like being the thing you tune into shows for. It's real niche. It's real niche, but I can respect it.
Do I need to go shirtless? Because
No.
I'd rather not. But.
No, we can leave that to Burt. That can be his thing. That's all right. What else before we get out of here? I'm going to do like 5 more minutes. So if anyone has any more questions, now's the time. Love to answer them. Angela says, what do you think Titans' next moves are for the rest of the season? Well, in terms of trades, there are no moves to make. The next moves are to play the rookies as much as possible. Hope the offensive line continues to gel because pretty much 4 of the 5 pieces on the offensive line are your offensive line going forward. Hope that Calvin Ridley comes back and makes Cam Ward's life easier and makes the offense go burr. Keep Cam alive, says Jeff. That's a good goal. I like that goal. So, and as Michael says, hope that the Saints and the Jets win this week and every week in perpetuity. You got to hope that the other tank bowl teams really fall apart, or excuse me, we really don't fall apart somehow, even though like the Jets just sold all their guys and the Saints just sold one of their 2 best wide receivers. So there's that. There's also, Ross, did you see this? I'll just address it since we're kind of touching everything right now. Did you see the thing out of New England about Amy Adams-Strunk from Mike Giardi?
Yes, I read that. Do you think that's legit or
no?
Even if it was though, like, what's the big deal? Like, plenty of people probably would do the same thing or feel the same way about it. But you know what I mean?
No, I do. I mean, I think it'd be dumb because you're just hurting your own. Like, you're hurting your own goals. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a really good offer that you would take from any other team from the Patriots, but you're like, man, Mike Vrabel, I hate that guy. That'd be dumb.
I also think, like, and you basically said it, but for the people that wish we did a fire sale, it would have been great for news. I get it. But
yeah,
the Jets essentially had the same tradable assets and position groups that we had. Mm-hmm. They just are better at every position group except
way better.
Probably Jeff. Like, Garrett Wilson or Calvin Ridley. You're taking Garrett Wilson. Mm-hmm. Brees or Tony Pollard, you're taking Brees. Jermaine or Arden Key, you're taking Jermaine. Like,
yeah.
Sauce or
you're right.
Jalen Armour Davis, no one's trading for Jalen Armour Davis.
Heck yeah. You never know. Real hot on the waiver wire week 1. So.
Wouldn't be on my team.
Name's got buzz. If people don't know what we're talking about, I'll read the thing from Mike Giardi. Let me make sure I have it. I don't. Pulling it up. Hold that thought. Here we go. So this is from Mike Giardi, writes at the Boston Sports Journal. And he wrote this morning. He said, quote, I was also told there has been some conversation league-wide that Tennessee might be unwilling to make deals with New England because the owner, Amy Adams-Strunk, continues to think too much about how things ended with Vrabel and is not inclined to help his new team. We'll find out soon enough with the likes of edge Arden Key, running back Tony Pollard, and even wide receiver Calvin Ridley available. And I wrote last week about the likelihood that Vrabel could come knocking on the Titans' door because they needed so many positions that the Titans had, and they were known buyers or wanted to be buyers today. They ultimately stood pat, no pun intended. But that is the most obvious war game nasty rumor I've ever heard in my life. I understand it to be false. I believe it to be false. It's a real rumor that Mike identified. I'm not, no shade at Mike. Like, this is a thing that people were talking about. It's just a dumb thing. There's such a long laundry list of things to be mad at Amy Adams-Strunk for and to like not like her for. If you were in the business of wanting to find reasons to not like her, I can give you a long list of things you should take to heart before something as silly as this. This is dumb. This is dumb.
But
this did not happen.
Say hypothetically it is true. That is a true thing. One, we don't know what they offered. So if they didn't offer anything good for these players, then why would we give them up? Two, would you help your ex out?
I love that all you see is the petty angle.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Like,
I hear you, man. Like, what this is to me is like the ultimate heard you won't. Like, it's like, I bet you. I heard on the street that you're not going to do it. I bet you won't change your offer for Tony Pollard. I bet you won't let us trade for your players that we want. And the Titans were like, no, pay us what they're worth or go away. And then the Patriots went away.
Are you surprised that Tavondre generated so much buzz? Because I kind of am.
If you'd asked me in June, I'd say totally. But since then, I've heard too many things. Like again, reporter hat on, because I love T'Vondre Sweat. He was my guy. He is my guy. I think that he's a really fun player, and I love that they drafted him. And I hope that somehow he's a Titan forever because I love T'Vondre Sweat. But don't shoot the messenger. I just have heard that this regime wants him to kind of get on his horse, and they've not been super pleased with him, and they think he's super talented, and they think that he can still be a great player, but they want to see it, and so far they've not been super pleased. Which I guess I can understand. I still believe in the guy, but they didn't draft him, and that's always an element of it. They're trying to build a culture with the Brownlee thing, and that part was made crystal clear. And the other reason why I think I got a lot of buzz is that teams around the league want him because they know he's a good player. Curtis asks, is it the weight? No, it's not. I mean, I guess it's probably part, just generally being in shape and caring is maybe part of it. But since he's been back, he's been playing. It's not been a snap count issue. It's not been a loafing issue. No. I really don't think that it's just this guy gets too fat. No, it's more complicated than that.
Probably potentially some availability concerns in there as well.
Yeah, that's a part of it. Especially with the whole missing a lot of the off season and into the season and all of that. But they want him to kind of get with the program is what I've been told, and I hope that he does. And I again, this is all just don't shoot the messenger. It's what I've heard. Maybe it's not true. I don't know. But that's kind of the gist, and that's why a lot of the buzz was buzzing, because that's how they feel. And so will I be shocked if he's not here next year somehow? No, I guess I won't be. Will I be shocked if they give him a rookie contract extension one day? Yeah, I will be at this point. I don't think that he's an extension candidate unless he really gets on his horse. But Jeffrey Simmons expected back after the bye week this week, and I've been dying to see what those two look like with a non-rookie T'Vondre Sweat and a healthy Jeffrey Simmons, because that's super exciting.
Hey, that pass rush last 2 days ago?
Right, well, they just shipped off one of the guys. But other than that, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
You got to take some positives here.
Dude, Denard Wilson, I'd resign if I was him. It's been the book of Job for Denard Wilson his entire Titans tenure. Every time something good has happened to him, it has been taken away by a large celestial hand, whether it's the front office or the injury gods. It's like Ernest Jones playing well, traded. Quandre Diggs playing well, hurt, missed the rest of the year. We have all this money to spend in free agency. The best we're going to give you is a $10 million rental at Edge who we're going to trade at the trade deadline halfway through next year. And Cody Barton, who has been a not super exciting guy so far for you. We're going to draft 2 guys for your defense on day 2, but they're going to be developmental guys that can't help you yet. And one's going to get hurt, and the other one's going to get hurt later, and they're both going to have kind of upsetting rookie years. And it's at every turn, it has, those cornerbacks you like, the 2 starters you had at corner to start the year, get them out of here too. It has been just brutal for Denard. Tough scene for him. He probably hates his job right now. I would.
Well, what are you supposed to do out there? Just
make the bad players good. That's what coaches do. Make the bad players good, or you're fired. That's how it works around here.
Hard to make some of these guys good.
Draw blood from a stone. Go.
I saw Jack Longley, I think. Yeah, Jack asked, what are your thoughts on the Jarvis trade now that he's CB1 in New York already?
By default, but true nonetheless. I graded that. What did I give that? I think I gave it a D+. Here, I'll just give you my thoughts verbatim from that article, and then we can be done. I gave the Dre'Mont Jones trade an A, Roger McCreary trade a B, just because the market is the market. So if a pick trade is the best you got, then so be it. But I wish you got a real pick for it, obviously. I gave the Jarvis Brownlee Jr. trade a D+, and I said. The Titans traded Brownlee Jr. to the Jets for a 6-7 round pick swap on September 23rd. This move came as a shock to everybody on the outside of Tennessee's building. They moved one of their starting cornerbacks. Just 2 starts into the season. 16 total starts as a Titan. This wasn't a veteran or even a player at the end of the rookie contract. No, this was a second-year starting cornerback you found in the 5th round of last year's draft. So why sell him for a hill of beans? Put simply, Mike Borgonzi moved on from him because he was not a culture fit for what he's trying to build here in Tennessee. And that's an unfalsifiable thesis for those outside the Titans building, unless the details behind the decision are ever brought to light. Maybe the team really did have great reasons to find him a new home, but it sounds like we'll never get to talk about them in the light of day. Meanwhile, everybody in New York loves the guy so far, and he's playing good football in the slot, his natural position. He didn't get to play in Tennessee because of Roger McCreary. The fact that the Titans are comfortable letting themselves look like fools on this trade is telling in and of itself. They aren't blind to how this looks, but they don't care. They made this move eyes wide open. But it's still a mark against them that they weren't able to make it work with the talented player they found late in the draft. Maybe one day Brownlee will implode and this will look different. If and until that day comes, the Titans look like they got fleeced here, grade D+. That is how I feel. Those are the carefully chosen words that I will share on that front. And sometimes there are things on the inside people never know. And it is what it is.
Also, the Jets gave up their OG, I guess, slot corner and Michael Carter after getting Jarvis. So, maybe if he had started in the slot here the whole time, it could have been different. I don't know. You'd know better than me, but
probably. I think their understanding of his talent and usefulness would have been different, because a part of the decision to move him is because they're like, this guy is a penalty machine on the outside, and he's kind of grabby and he's like inconsistent or whatever. But that's because you're playing him in the wrong position. So I don't know. Let's call it there. We've got a lot to talk about the rest of the week, though. I will be at the Titans facility tomorrow for the last time until their bye week, because Mike Borgonzi, GM, speaking with us. Appreciate him taking the time tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. So shortly after the morning show, Austin and JT will have you covered with a more comprehensive recap of the trade deadline tomorrow morning show. Same place here on the A to Z YouTube and Facebook at 8:10 Central Time. And then I will have you covered at Easton Freeze and at ATOZ Sports on Twitter with a bunch of stuff from the press conference, and then a lot of written work at ATOZsports.com about the press conference and a bunch of stuff. There's a ton of stuff, by the way, from the day, a bunch of articles of mine on ATOZsports.com right now you can go and check out. I recommend you go and do that because there's a lot of good stuff in there. And that's about it. I hope everyone has a great rest of your Tuesday. And until next Tuesday, this has been Primetime.
Go home! Go home! Go home!